Morning, guys. William here with Patriot Containers. In my videos, I've been reading some recent complaints on cargo container companies on my YouTube channel and then commenting on them, and also, defending the customers and telling you with what the bad companies, how they respond and what they did wrong, because I used to work for companies just like them. I know how they operate. Last night I was reading a complaint on a specific company, and I came across a topic that is helpful. When you guys go to these companies' websites, a lot of companies don't have accurate pictures of a good representation of what the condition is on their website that you want. So going back to wind and watertight, WWT, it's the most common abused term in the industry. So when you go to these companies' websites and they have pictures that are representing with what you think you want, it's not accurate. So a lot of complaints that I read is like, hey, we went to their website, we saw the containers, what I got delivered was far worse or very, very bad. And you got to understand that 90% of cargo container companies they're not disclosing the honest truth, or they're flat out lying about what they're selling. And that's just how this industry is. It's unfortunate. It sucks. I started my business because I wanted to be different and give people the truth and give people the honesty and provide a real service where people actually get their containers on the right day and they don't feel misled. That's what Patriot Containers does. If you're looking for a cargo container, 90% of cargo container companies will mislead you and they'll do everything wrong. So a lot of you guys as customers go to these flashy, expensive websites that look like they're the biggest company in the world, and they're just a broker, and they spent tens and thousands of dollars on a website with misleading pictures. Most customers always say, I just want a cheap container that doesn't leak. Well, that's what you're going to get when you ask for that. You're going to get a cheap container that hopefully doesn't leak. But when you go to their websites and it shows a bunch of pictures that are better than with what they're selling you, yes, you're going to have a complaint because you were misled. The pictures that were representing the container they were trying to sell you were much nicer than the real containers that they're delivering you. I'm going to give you a piece of useful information here. When you go to these guys' YouTube channels, they're going to have one specific company pays money for all their YouTube videos that the customers have sent. I'm even thinking that some of these videos are actors, because if you watch their videos, these people have got to specifically say certain things in the video. If they do not say it, they do not get paid. If it's not in clear, you can go to their website and it shows you must do this, you must upload a video, you must say this, it must be clear, it can't be blurry. I always ask customers for videos, and I go, hey, can you send me a video of your container? I don't care with what you say. You can say something, you can say nothing. I'm not Steven Spielberg. I don't care. Whatever you send me, I'm happy with. I don't care if it's blurry. I don't care if it's clear. Of course, you want the best video. Of course, I want my customers to say, hey, William at Patriot Containers is the best. Some people, when they take a video of their container, they're camera shy and they don't want to say anything. If I tell them, you need to do this, I would get less videos. So, when I ask for videos, I go, hey, look, can you just send me a video? I don't care if it's being unloaded, it's after the driver left. I don't care if you say something or nothing, whatever. But some of these videos, if you ever watch them, these people are saying the exact same thing. It's like the company sends them a script of what they have to say in order to get money. So they're paying for these videos. And it actually says that on their website that they pay money for these videos. Back to the misleading conditions you guys are seeing on their websites. Here's a helpful hint. I think if you're a customer and you want to be lied to and you're buying from one of these crappy companies that I'm warning you about on my YouTube channel and exposing, you should go to their YouTube channel and say, look, do you see this video of this container? This is what I want. What they bring you is a different story. I can't control how these companies run their business. They run it a specific way. They have terms and conditions that protect them from everything that they say, everything that they do wrong. They're protected, and you are not as a buyer. That's what these companies do. They protect themselves from you as a customer, so you have no power other than losing money and getting a crappy container. So again, most companies and most customers request wind and watertight, not knowing with what it is. Most shipping lines, when we buy from shipping lines, all of us buy from shipping lines. I don't care if you're this little tiny peewee or this big of company. Everybody buys from shipping lines. At one point in time, a container was bought and sold from a shipping line, and it went somewhere. And whatever condition that thing is in is what condition you're going to get. Most shipping lines that sell wind and watertight, they're not in good condition. Most companies that sell wind and watertight, they purchase as is and they caulk up the holes and then sell it to you as wind and watertight because it doesn't leak, because it has, caulking in a hole or something, because they purchased as is. They did not purchase wind and watertight. So here's my helpful hint. 13 years of selling containers, 11 years of owning Patriot Containers. The one best company the shipping line that sells what I call an acceptable wind and watertight container. It's not going to be super, super nice. And they're acceptable. And here's my definition of acceptable. If I deliver you an acceptable container, you're not super happy about it, but you're not super angry about it and you're just going to keep it. I might not get your repeat business, but you're not going to reject it. You're not going to file a complaint, and you just call it a day. Patriot Containers doesn't want my customers to feel like that. I want you to feel happy with a used cargo container when it arrives on the right day. And then if you ever want another container, you'll call me. If somebody comes by your property and goes, hey, where'd you get that container? That person that bought it gives my information to that referral, is what you would call it. Repeat business and referrals are earned. They're not demanded and they're not bought. So one shipping line that sells good wind and watertight containers. If you go to my website, it's patriotcontainers.com, and I have a section, and I really, to be honest, I need to update my website. I have a very basic website. I call it easy and user-friendly. Is it flashy, and did I spend $20,000 on it? No. Am I ever going to? No. It's a website. I don't even tell people to go to my website anymore. I haven't told people to go to my website in 5 years. My YouTube channel has everything I need on it. One shipping line that actually sells okay to good to acceptable wind and watertight containers is the yellow MSC. It stands for Mediterranean Shipping Company. Those are okay, decent wind and watertight containers. On my website, I have those labeled as wind and watertight budget cargo worthy. The reason I have it like that is because those are sold as wind and watertight. but some of them can actually pass for cargo worthy. And I know that for a fact because I've done it in the past where I've purchased, and I'm talking about years ago, yellow MSC containers, and I hire a third party inspection company to register a container for overseas transportation, and those containers will pass. Most shipping lines that sell wind and watertight containers, they are horrendous looking containers, sometimes heavily corroded. And when a lot of these companies that are selling you guys containers, they always say surface rust. Well, surface rust is like, is it, I don't know if it's underselling or overselling. When you tell somebody, oh, it just has surface rust, but then when it shows up and it's cancerous corrosion all over the container, it ain't surface rust, and now you're mad because you got rust, surface rust, cancerous rust, surface rust, corrosion rust. But helpful hint in this video: if you're looking for these companies that mislead you, misrepresentation on their quality of their containers, the yellow MSC Mediterranean shipping companies, they're sold to us companies as wind and watertight. Those are actually acceptable, okay, decent wind and watertight containers. Most shipping lines don't have good wind and watertight containers. That's why I tell you guys to buy cargo worthy. When you're dealing with these horrible companies that have no morals, no standards, you're at the mercy of whatever they purchase for you. If they purchase you a bad container and then they say, oh, it's the driver's fault, or oh, we're so sorry that this happened, they did it on purpose. They control with what you got as a customer. They purchased this, they didn't inspect it, the driver picked up and just left, and that's how you guys get horrible containers. So how do you get around this? Well, number one, you're still at the mercy of these bad companies. Number two, I think they already have YouTube channels. They already have videos of what they've posted online. You as a customer, if you're going to choose to go with these horrible companies, which I think you shouldn't, you should go to the YouTube channel and show them the video and go, look, I want that. And at least you're telling them with what you want to look at, because they're not telling you what it looks like. You need to pick with what container you want. If you're buying a new container, this doesn't apply. If you're buying a new container, it should be the nicest container money will buy you. $1 million is not going to buy you a better container than a new one-trip container. Now, I've said in my past videos, I've actually seen complaints on new containers that have showed up damaged from these companies. I don't know how they bought that. I literally don't. And I don't want to know. Or somebody bought a new one and it took 3 months to deliver, and the delivery was all wrong, and the company just screwed up a customer that wanted a new container, which is pitiful. It really is. If somebody buys a new container, you should do everything perfect because you have a customer for life. But yeah, so the whole purpose of this video is a lot of these companies, they have websites, and I've known this for years. I'm just searching for topics to talk about for industry awareness, exposing these companies. And last night I came up with one of you guys go to these companies' websites and they have a bunch of beautiful pictures of a certain condition, but when they purchase the container for you, it's not with what you saw on their website. So yeah, it's misleading. You know, how do you as a customer get away from that? Well, here's the warning signs of the bad companies. We're nationwide. We're the most reviewed. Go to our Google, our BBB. BBB and Google allows them to hire overseas companies to write fake 5-star reviews. And Google and BBB does not take down those fake 5-star reviews. I've actually caught them in videos I used to post on my YouTube channel where this customer had the same picture on their review, And then months later, another customer had the exact same picture. And then another one was one company had the review from this company and another person had the same company, which means they both purchased a fake 5-star review, and the company that posts the reviews used the same name, same picture, same content. And I've seen also, and so you can't have that. It's physically impossible for that to happen. And so, which means it's a fake review. But another thing, so we're nationwide, we're the most reviewed, go to our Google, go to our BBB. They will never tell you to go to their Yelp. Yelp takes down their fake 5-star reviews, and they have a 1-star or a 2-star rating on Yelp. Okay. The next one, lifetime warranties. Go read their terms and conditions. Their lifetime warranty is we'll sell you a container with holes and deliver you JB Weld or a fiberglass patch kit. That's their warranty. So sorry. So, and the next one is if you don't like your container in 30, 60, 90 days, well, you'll get a full refund. Go read their terms and conditions. You ain't going to get a full refund, and they're not going to make that easy. They're going to make it very difficult. But yeah, I guess if you have to buy from these companies, you know, you need to tell the salesperson, you need to tell a salesperson, hey, go to your YouTube channel. This is the container I want. I want it to be in that condition, that color. Be specific. You're still at the mercy of whatever they bring you. You know, as much as helpful information I can give you, I just don't believe some of this information will actually help you purchase better containers from these companies. They have terms and conditions that protect them from the very beginning all the way to the delivery date, and then after the delivery date. I read a lot of complaints where people go to their websites and then they complain. They go, well, we went to the website and all the pictures that we thought we were going to be, all the condition of what we thought we were going to get was not the case. Well, there's two scenarios. Either the pictures on their website are misleading and better containers, and they want you to see good ones, even though wind and watertight is bad, or they purchase you damaged or as is, and their terms and conditions have them covered. So anyways, guys, that's it. Don't always believe in the pictures that these companies are sending you. I don't even believe some of the reviews that they're getting, especially the 5-star reviews. They're over the top. They're paid for fake 5-star reviews. If they don't do it, they would have if their Yelp is a 1 or a 2 because they take down their fake 5-star reviews. That's what their Google and BBB should also be. I don't know why these BBB gives these guys an A+ rating. I just don't. And if you ever go look at all those complaints, if a person makes a complaint on a company, the company has to respond, and then the customer can respond to that, and they can just keep responding and responding. But at the very top right-hand corner of the complaint, it usually says answered. Well, answered isn't resolved. That just means the company filed an answer to it. And it's never, I know this industry so well, and I know how these companies operate. They do not take care of their problems. They leave you out to hang and dry. So and I'm telling you, maybe 1 out of 100 complaints might say resolved, and all the other ones are not resolved. If it was resolved, the customer would change that to say, hey, this company fixed it. They did with what's right. It almost never says that. They never resolve their problems. They don't have to. They have terms and conditions on their website. I keep warning you guys about this stuff. But yeah, when you guys go into these guys' websites and they post inaccurate pictures, they're not trustworthy, honest companies that are transparent. That's the biggest problem. Patriot Containers does not stand for that. That's why I'm making my videos. Nobody else is making videos like this exposing with what these cargo container companies are doing to you guys. So if you go to my website, you're going to see wind and watertight and budget cargo worthy. Those should be all yellow MSC Mediterranean Shipping Company containers. I will purchase those if they're cheaper. If I can buy a cargo worthy container for less money, why would I buy that? If those are cheaper and you're okay with the condition and you're okay with the real pictures that are on my website of containers that I actually sold, yes, I'll sell you that. But sometimes those containers that are wind and watertight, but they're good wind and watertights that can pass for cargo worthy, if those cost more than actual cargo worthy containers, why would I sell you this? I'm going to sell you the better container for less money. So anyways, guys, that's it. Helpful hint. Go to these guys' YouTube channels and tell them, hey, look, so you see this container in this video. I want that. If they bring that to you, it's up to the company. You're at the mercy of what they purchase for you, what they have scheduled for the driver to pick up. It's not bad luck. It's intentional. You know, and once again, I have this thing called the Buyer's Protection Agreement. It's a 3-page document that strips, if you can get the company to sign this document, it strips them of all their rights of their terms and conditions and puts you in 100% control of your money. But you must pay by credit card. If you want that, call me, 888-611-5698. I know these companies so well to where if they ever got their hands on this buyer protection agreement where it actually strips them of their rights, they would not sign it. And you got to ask yourself, well, why aren't you signing this? This protects me as a customer. Why won't you sign this? Well, they don't believe in their own company. They don't believe in what they're telling you. They don't believe that your container is going to be arriving on the right day. They don't believe that this container was sold to you with honesty and you're going to buy a crappy container. That's why they have terms and conditions. So the buyer protection agreement that I came up with and I wrote, it has everything covered to where if the company signs it, it strips them from all their rights. And I need to start pushing that more often. So anyways, guys, that's it. Have a great one. Wednesday the 10th. Goodbye.